Morning, guys. This is an actual get ready with me because I am going out to a brunch today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the wedding I was at last night, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about low buys and no buys and end of the year sort of makeup resolutions and what I think about all that. So I am starting with the bare face, and I am going to be using my new Anastasia Sultry palette for my eyes. And I'm also going to be using the new Anastasia lip gloss in Freya over my new Charlotte Tillbury lip cheat in Pillow Talk. First, to start off with, as always, is the Anthelios 60 from La Roche-Posay sunscreen. So my best friend got married last night, and she had a beautiful wedding, and she was kind enough to let me be a part of it. I wasn't in the procession or anything, but I was like the personal attendant. So I basically got to hang out with them. I got to go to the salon with them, get my hair done, get my makeup done, which was very cool. But also like a little like worrying because I do love to do my own makeup, but it was actually like a really fun experience, and I loved the girl that did my makeup and everything, and it turned out really pretty. And I got to hang out, I got to have lunch and hang out in the bridal suite and be in some of the pictures and help my friend get into her wedding dress. And the ceremony was just really gorgeous. It was in an old warehouse. It had sort of a very like handmade alternative vibe, and it was cool. And the food was delicious. I had 2 pieces of cake. I had tons of candy and coffee and water. I was driving, so I did not drink. And I'm not really that sad because I've been drinking a lot less than I used to, which I find helps me keep off some of the weight. And so, you know, I stayed till almost midnight and packed up and gave her a hug, and now this morning I will be going to a brunch to celebrate everything that we did last night. And next, because the sunscreen sort of dries down and mattifies my face a little bit, I am going to use the Mario Badescu facial spray with aloe, chamomile, and lavender, just because it calms down my face when sunscreen might irritate it a little bit. So, and it smells so good. Whew. Okay. So I had a beautiful like top from Madewell. It's like this velvet like gray top, gray purple top, and the girl that did my eyes put some like purple, light purple liner with a little bit of darker red shadow over it, and just like a peach for the rest of the eye, and then just a peach yet lip with a little bit of lip gloss. So that was very fun. I'm going to start with my primer from Face Studio Maybelline, the Blur and Smooth 100. Just looks like that. Stuff I'm needing to use up. So yes, I had a very, very, very fun time last night, even though I was out very, very late, and I had to drive home in the middle of the night on a country road. Totally worth it. So I want to talk a little bit about sort of this trend that I'm seeing right now, which is all about low buys and no buys. And I don't call it a trend to be belittling to it. I think it's, you know, perfectly legitimate for whoever is doing it or feels like they need to do it. And I myself have been working on using up products that I already have. I have done a little bit of decluttering throughout the year and just thrown out products that have been sitting in my collection, sitting in my makeup drawer for like 3 years that I have absolutely never touched. I used to get BoxyCharm, and I got a lot of products in BoxyCharm that were really, really good, but also products that I just had no interest in, and I really didn't want to make myself use. So I ended up throwing out a lot of that stuff. Speaking of BoxyCharm, I did get this. This is called the Lighting Crew by the Beauty Crop. I did get this in a BoxyCharm like maybe 3 years ago or so. It's not bad. It still smells fine. It smells like coconut, and I use this as my skin glow, you know, like I use the number 7 illuminator. it just doesn't really work as a highlighter for me, but it does work as sort of an under the surface glow for me. It looks like this, and if you do put it in too much of a high concentration on your face, it kind of starts to look like that, and it looks very metallic-y. I'm using my Sonia Kashuk Beauty Blender and the mirror in my Sultry palette to press it into the skin. So I find that this, I was worried when I started using it again that it would be a little too strong and look a little too metallic on my skin, but it actually looks just fine underneath foundation. So on to low buys and no buys. It is that time of year when I think a lot of people are they've just kind of had it with the new makeup releases. That's a little piece of, that's like, I don't know. And, you know, with the holiday releases and new collections, and I think this year with just so many people noticing more indie brands and smaller brands and all of the releases. You know, I love Angelica Nyquist's makeup releases, going on the wish list or not. That is my Sunday morning ritual. I get my coffee and I watch her and I laugh with her, and I mostly agree with her, except for, like, you know, when we're talking about the Sultry palette or any Anastasia palette, whatever. But, you know, and, you know, I watch beauty news and I watch some of Samantha March's Will I Buy It videos, and I watch Andrea Mattiano's Purchase or Pass, and, you know, there's all sorts of Will I Buy It's now, and there's just so much. And I feel like at this point in the year, when so many more people are doing these kinds of things and things are coming out every week and or like every other day. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Porcelain. It is just, you know, everybody feels overwhelmed, but they also want to support their favorite indie brands and support their favorite brands. And there's so many people who want to support their favorite social media influencers and celebrities. You know, celebrities ad nauseum are coming out with, you know, new makeup brands. Lady Gaga's coming out with one. J-Lo did a collaboration, and maybe she's coming out, I don't know, did she come out with her own brand? Or, you know, there's the Kim Kardashian, the Kylie Jenner, and, you know, everybody's got something. And you know, there's so many single shadows. So many little companies are doing cool things with single shadows, and it's just, you want to try them all, but you just don't have the time. You realize, you know, you can buy all this stuff and you could try it, but you can try it like maybe once and then you move on to the next thing. You don't have time to test it for like a month or 2 months or whatever, just to see what the quality is, and then it goes back in your drawer, and then what? Then you've just got a palette sitting in there. I mean, like in my case, I didn't buy a whole lot of stuff for like 2 or 3 months because I was trying to save up money for vacation. I've talked about this ad nauseum, but, you know, and it really, really helped to like clear out my collection a little bit and make me use stuff that I already had and make me use up a lot of samples and minis and things, which is awesome. I'm going through things left and right and throwing things away, and that's pretty awesome. But when I got back, I sort of fell into that pattern again where I was like, I need to shop. I finally have some money and I need to shop. I need to buy some makeup. Sephora VIB sale, and Ulta's having a sale, and I have points from Ulta, and, you know, and I ended up buying like 4 or 5 palettes, like including this one. I bought 2 ColourPop palettes. I bought a Pat McGrath palette, bought this palette. I can't remember, I probably bought something else. I don't really know. And I haven't even really, I've swatched this, but I haven't even had a chance to try it yet. So like, that's part of why I'm doing these Get Ready With Me's. I like to try my new palettes, and I like to use a new palette every week from my collection. But if I keep buying new palettes, I'm never going to be able to, like, I'm going to have like 50 palettes and I'm only going to be able to use them once a week for a year. Like, that's just how it adds up. So, I mean, you know, it's overwhelming and it's kind of crazy. And with all the new releases and all the new stuff that everybody wants to try, it's just exhausting to try to keep up. So a lot of people are just kind of saying, I'm done, I'm out, low buy, no buy, and more, and it's a good trend, you know, especially in the last year or two, of people just trying to, you know, the panning community has been around for a while. I know that. I've done a pan that palette. And I've watched people in the panning community, you know, talking about using what you have and shopping your stash. That's always been a thing. But I think right now it's more combined with just looking at what you have, not just panning things to pan them and getting them out of your collection, but to actually look at your collection and appreciate the things that you have, and not just use them up, but enjoy them. I see so many people who do project pans, and you know, halfway through the year, they're just like, I am so sick of this. I am so sick. I want to use the things that I bought, that I want, that I love. And you know, you can only really do that if you stop buying new things every week. And you know, I was having that issue where and I'm still having that issue where, you know, for recreation, I like to shop. It's just what I like to do. And every week I was going to Ulta and spending, whether it was $10 or $70 or whatever. And then I got the Ulta credit card. So of course I'm getting tons of points, and I'm like picking out all the things that I want. And so every week I'm just accumulating more and more and more. And finally I'm just looking at my dresser going, I have a pile of lipsticks this high. And from what I used to have like 3 eyeshadow palettes, and now all of a sudden I have like 15. And I know that's not a lot compared to some people, but that is a lot for me, and that is a lot to use in a year. And so I'm just looking at this going, I can't be buying a new lipstick every week. I can't be buying a new eyeshadow every week, whether it's just like a little quad or a single or whatever. You know, I've got so much stuff stashed away in my backup drawer. I do have a backup drawer now, which is insane. Also, please ignore whatever is going on with this right here. I don't know either. So yeah, back to the point. I was starting to feel really overwhelmed, and you know, I finally got my new Pat McGrath palette, which, like, you know, I'm so excited to start using that. And then I realized I have like 3 or 4 palettes that I have not even used before I even used that one. And this is the Honest Beauty Invisible Blurring Powder. I got this in a Target box earlier this year. And it's a very nice sort of, it's almost banana-like, but it's not a banana powder, but it's got a sort of yellowish tint to it, and it's very nice. And my concealer, by the way, was the Master Conceal from Maybelline in Fair. Not being able to enjoy my palettes, and so before it gets too far and I have to start, you know, hiding things and putting them in my bathroom, and I don't have enough room for things in my medicine cabinet and that kind of thing, I just need to chill out for a little bit. And so, and I think that also with the holidays, with Christmas coming up, and you know, I just went to a wedding where, you know, I spent quite a bit of money on a gift, and I'm going to be spending money on presents for other people. It's just that time of the year where it's like, okay, my wallet is exhausted and I just need to chill out now. And so I think you're seeing a lot of that with influencers right now. They finally are just saying, I just need a break. I need a break. And that's cool. I totally respect that. I'm not going to call mine a low buy because I don't have like straight up rules or anything for it. But I'm not buying any more lipsticks, and I'm not buying any more eyeshadows. There are things that I do need. I'm eventually going to run out of my foundation and my concealer, and well, clearly I'm never going to run out of powder because I have so much powder. But I'm going to run out of like highlight. No, I'm never going to run out of highlight. I have highlight. I might run out of certain skincare items, or, you know, I might need a new brush or something. So it's not like there's any strict like rule, and maybe that's a mistake, but basically I'm just saying I've got too much shadow and I've got too much lip product and I just need to chill for a while. So the only thing I just got, my wonderful friend from the wedding gave me a Sephora gift card. Thank you for enabling me, dear. So I might use that towards the new Amrezy highlight, or it's not new, but it's the limited edition Amrezy highlight when it comes back in December. I honestly don't need any highlight, but I've got serious FOMO from that release, and everybody talks about how beautiful it is. And I've got a drawer full of Wet n Wild highlighters that probably dupe it, but oh well, I think it's Anastasia and I think I want it. So I might use the gift card towards that. But anything else, I think if I buy makeup from Ulta or anything, I'm going to buy it as a gift for people and sort of save up my points and wait to see, you know, after the holidays what the new releases for spring will be. And I think because everybody's been so inundated with new releases, it's kind of getting easier to ignore them. I mean, you know, with ColourPop coming out with things like every 3 days, it's getting really repetitive. And even though I like ColourPop and it's really affordable and it's fun to get packages from them and mix their eyeshadows and things, it's just like, I thought the Bretman Rock Wet palette was really nice and I kind of really want it, but also I just got the Mar palette from them and it looks like 2 or 3 of the exact same shades, and I'm just like, okay, I want it, but I don't need it. And I've only used my Mar palette like once or twice, so I just need to chill. And their holiday collection, I love that palette and it is so cool, but like Angelica said in her video today, and which, you know, I thought of when I first saw the palette, it's exactly like the My Little Pony. It's just the My Little Pony extended. Now I know you can't get the My Little Pony anymore because it's gone, but probably if you collect ColourPop palettes, you probably have it, and you probably don't need this. But if you collect ColourPop palettes, you're probably going to buy it. So I don't want to become a collector of ColourPop palettes. I already collect Anastasia palettes, and that's already killing my wallet. Because she's coming out with like 5 palettes a year now. That is sort of the resolution that I've made to myself, is not to buy any shadow or lippies. Clearly I make exceptions for Anastasia, but no more ColourPop sprees, no more Wet n Wild sprees, although I do have a Wet n Wild haul coming up, which, you know, that was before I, you know, made this decision. It was the 30% off with free shipping sale, so. Next I'm going to do my brows, and I'm going to be using this, I can't remember what the name of it is, but there's 3 brow powders in here. This is just a ColourPop palette full of like Sephora shadows, and like this is a Mary Kay shadow, and this you can see that there's actually powder sticking to the magnetized, so there's some metal in it's kind of weird. Anyway, I'm going to be using these 2 shades. This powder, I think it's from Bodyography. It came in a BoxyCharm and I've had it for quite a while and it's really, really good. My friend just texted me and I gotta get going pretty soon, so gotta kind of get this going. I've got, you know, now I've got eyebrow powder all over my face, and that's cool. That's what I'm gonna try to do, and just try not to shop makeup for recreation. You know, I was thinking about buying some, you know, when Ulta has their sale on certain brands, I was thinking of trying some of the new Almay lipsticks that came out, and they have these holographic quads that I'm thinking are cool, and I was like, oh, I could get 2 of each, or I could get 1 of each and try it out. And then I realized, of all the single shadows and all the lipsticks that I bought, a lot of them are just sitting there, and you know, they're not getting, the Almay stuff isn't getting great reviews, so I'm just like, you know what, I don't need it. I don't know, it's sitting in my Ulta favorites list, and I'm about ready to just remove it because I don't need it, and I would only be buying it just to buy it and try it, and then it would go somewhere and sit in a drawer, and that doesn't really need to happen. So You know, and I just bought the new Beauty Bakery Cake Pop Lippy, and that thing is so tiny, by the way. And I've really only had a chance to use it once, because it's right now it's just not fitting with the style that I'm wearing. I like dark lipsticks, but I'm going for something a little bit lighter and glowy right now. So I'm like, and that's just sitting there, and that was $14. And it looks exactly like, you know, 10 other lipsticks that I have, because I decided this year that I love the new Sephora Lip Stories lipsticks, so I've been buying those, and I've got a pile of those, and 2 of them I use all the time, and they're already like halfway gone, which is awesome. Gonna start on my eyes. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. I'm gonna go in with my Sultry palette. I'm gonna start with Fresh, the matte sort of ivory shade, on this Real Techniques brush. I absolutely adore this shade. It's the perfect setting shade for my face. So I've got a pile of Lip Stories lipsticks that I love, and like the 2 that I love the most are like, you know, pretty much halfway gone, which is awesome. But I do have a pile of them that I use very rarely, and I can't have them just sitting there going bad. I just threw away a lip balm the other day that I had opened up to see, you know, if I was going to use it. And granted, it was a Pacifica lip balm, and those are made, I think, more naturally. So yes, clearly they're going to expire more quickly. But it had like mold on it, and I was just like, I'm glad I got use out of it, but it still seemed like a lot to throw away. And so I was just like, you know what? No, that kind of capped off to me. It's like, you know what? No more lips. No more lippies. No more none of this. I'm going to use the Anastasia brush that comes with this. Birch. This one right here is the matte. It's pretty. I really like that. It's one of those pretty peanut buttery shades that I really like for the crease. And very, very pigmented, as lovely Anastasia shadows are. So yeah, too many lippies, too much eyeshadow. And so yeah, and you know, I don't think it's a bad trend. And it's definitely, I see why people are doing it. I also wonder how many people will actually follow through with it, because I know, as someone who's done a panning project before, and as someone who likes to shop for fun, it's really hard to tell yourself that you have to use something up, or you can't get something new, or, you know, you have to keep using this no matter, even if you hate it, because you have to use it just to use it up. And so I'm interested to see how people's projects are how successful they're going to be throughout 2019. I'm not rooting for anyone to fail, honestly. I'm just interested to see, like, you know, we're all human and we all have weaknesses, and, you know, eventually you're going to see something, or you're going to have a need, or you're going to have some sort of, you know, because shopping can be an emotional thing. It can fill a hole for you. You know, not that that's a good thing, but it's not necessarily, I mean, it's nobody's business what you buy, and what you choose to, you know, spend your money on for fun. If makeup makes you happy, that's fine. If it's putting you in debt, that's a problem, but that is your business. So, and that's your issue to sort out. But, you know, I just know for me, it would be incredibly hard to say I'm not buying any makeup this year. I certainly, first of all, I need skincare. I'm just at that age. And second of all, I just like makeup too much to just, you know, cut myself off from it. That was Dystopian, the matte brown shade, and it's very deep, and I like it. I always seem to have, like, easier time doing this eye, but then this eye, the shadow gets really low. And it's because I'm left-handed and I'm trying to do it like this, and yeah, it just doesn't always work. But so there's always a little bit of cleanup to do there. But I don't really, there's no really fallout from the mattes. Now I know there's going to be some fallout from the shimmers. That's just the way Anastasia shimmers are. They're beautiful, but they do end up on your cheeks at the end of the night, which when you're going for a glowy look, I'm actually fine with that. You know, I don't mind a little bit of sparkle on my cheeks. It's not like it looks like body glitter or anything. It's just a little bit of shimmer. I don't care. But that bothers some people, and that's fine. Which shimmer do I want? I love this color Rose Quartz, but I don't know. I don't know. I want to use something else. Cyborg is not going to work. Maybe Ember? Maybe I'll use Ember and just go a little bit dark. Teak is also very pretty. Cinder is beautiful. I'm having a crisis here. Crisis, guys. I can't decide which beautiful shimmer I want to use. You know what? I'm looking at this gloss that I'm going to wear, and I think I'm going to use Steampunk. And I'm going to put it on with the Sigma E25. It's probably better to like put it on with your finger, but this one seems a little bit more densely packed than the other ones do, so maybe it'll be fine. And as you can see, I do get fallout, but the shade is absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh, look at how that just like that beautiful blend into dystopian. Like, I'm not talking about my blending, I'm just talking about the way the shadows like blend together. Oh, so pretty. A little on the inner corner. Oh, that's gorgeous. I love the name of this too. Anastasia Shadows, like, I know that some people get disappointed in the palettes that they're not more colorful, but I've noticed that with Anastasia, at least with her current like streak of palettes, they have a little bit like something grungy, a little bit dirty to them, and I think that's just kind of like her signature. Is she's not going for like straight color, she's going for something a little bit more, something a little bit more, like I said, dirty or grungy, something underneath the surface. And I don't know if makeup is really that deep. I just stuck the end of my brush into one of my shadows. That's awesome. But I think it's kind of cool. So. And this is a absolutely beautiful holiday palette. I'm really glad that I have it, and I really want to play with it more. But I also have a Pat McGrath palette to play with, so it's like, see, this is the issue when you buy too much makeup. You have all these decisions to make, and something that was supposed to be fun suddenly becomes like super stressful, and that's not fun for anybody. I'm gonna put a little bit more powder underneath my eyes. If you can hear some bass music, one of my neighbors is apparently waiting for someone in their car and playing their music a little bit louder than they should, but I live downtown. That's just how it is. Everybody thinks they're the first one to turn up the bass in their car, so every generation thinks it's the first to play loud music. So. And sometimes you're just sitting in your car and you need a little bass, you know. I certainly do sometimes. So I'm not using any liner today, I just don't feel like it. Of course, I forgot the mascara. There's always one thing that I forget to lay out before I sit down. The number 7 Exceptional Definition mascara, my favorite mascara. She was using, I think, Glow Minerals on me yesterday. That seems to be a popular salon brand. And I was taking my makeup off last night, and that mascara that she used on me was like so difficult to get off. Like, this comes off pretty easily. But I don't know if that was like a tubing mascara or what it was. It was coming off my eyes in chunks, and I was just like, what? And I've used those tubing mascaras before, and you're just supposed to be able to like pull them off, which is a little bit weird, but I don't know what was going on with that one. I don't think it was waterproof, but maybe it was. Who knows? And I just took it off with my cleansing oil like usual, but I don't know. It was a little bit weird. Poking myself in the eye. I hate mascara so much, but my eyes look weird without it. And now this eye's gonna water and ruin everything that I did, so cool. That is why we keep Q-tips handy. And the other thing I'm seeing, kind of like I said before, with a lot of the new releases is that, you know, I already have it. I have that color. I have, you know, I have that palette basically. And it's just like, even with ColourPop, it just seems to be like the same colors over and over and over again. I'm glad that it's blue now. I love the pop of blue trend. I love blue. But it's like every palette now, and it's just like at some point it's like I don't need that. So I'm not going to spend my money on it. And the other thing is that, you know, with things that you want to try and they're new, you don't have to run out and buy it right away. Like with the Almay stuff, you know, again, the reviews aren't great, and if the product has any staying power, you know, it'll still be around for me to try, maybe in 6 months when I want to try it. Or if it's not good enough, it'll be on clearance for like, you know, half price or maybe like 75% off, and then, you know, maybe then it's worth trying it. Or maybe I can just look at it and go, it's on clearance, I don't need it, it's clearly not good. Again, just trying not to buy just to buy things. The other thing with like so many releases and stuff is that there's so much, I think the market is so fractured in makeup right now. Like, you know, for me for example, like an Anastasia palette comes out, even if I got it, I'm gonna buy it because I'm a fan of Anastasia. If you're a fan of one of the more controversial brands like Kat Von D, Jeffree Star, new palette comes out, even if you have it, you're gonna buy it because you support that person, you want to collect their stuff. You know, there's that thing about collecting and supporting, and if that is, you know, every brand has that. Lancome has that, Melt has that, indies and huge conglomerates, they all have that. So, you know, when people show new releases and they say, who is that for? Why did we need this? Well, it's for the fans of that brand, and that's for their customers. You know, that's the thing, is each brand has a base. And that, you know, as someone who loves makeup, you may have 100 palettes that look like that, but that doesn't really represent what the rest of the world is doing. You know, you have people who are really into Chanel, and so they'll buy every Chanel quad, or they'll buy themselves a Chanel quad a year. Like, they'll buy themselves like a holiday highlighter or a holiday palette or something like that, and that's just what they do. And so every brand has like a loyal fan base. That's just, in America, that's just how we do. You know, we're very brand conscious and brand loyal, and you know, if you like a brand, you're probably going to buy the next thing that they come out with because you want to be part of that group of people. And so, you know, that's one thing I think of when people are like, who is this for? Like, well, it's for the people who are loyal to that brand because they know they can put out something like that and they will make money. And in the end, that's what makeup is for companies is about. I mean, even if you have a founder or an indie brand that says, I love makeup and I'm just doing this for the love of makeup. No, you're selling makeup, you're doing it to make money. You know, it's cool that you get to make money off of something that you love. That's awesome, but you're doing it to make money. So, you know, there's no like pure motives in the makeup industry. So that's one thing that you have to remember, that even if a brand puts out something that you're like, they put out this and you're like, who wants that? Well, I want it because Anastasia, I want it. I don't need it, want it, gotta have it. Amber F recently did a really good video on makeup consumers and kind of like buying and feeling overwhelmed, and how makeup consumers kind of want to have their cake and eat it too when it comes to reviews and releases and this. So if you can find that video, I'll see if I can link it below, but That's a really, really great video. She has a lot of really good thoughts on makeup. You know, she's the panning queen, and you know, she's always really positive, but there's some times that she sits down and has a real rough conversation about, you know, her need for makeup, and, you know, the makeup addiction and makeup, you know, shopping and no buys and low buys. So she's got some really good thoughts that are more organized than what I have. So you should go watch that. You probably already have. This is the number 7 bronzer in Caramel, which I've been wearing lately. So if you like really good, like, conversations about, you know, really intelligent conversations about makeup and consumerism and that kind of thing, go watch her videos. I'm just sitting here rambling, basically. I don't want to sit here and go off of like a script or cards or anything. I just want to do my makeup and talk. So a lot of this just feels really disjointed, and, you know, I just want to do my makeup and talk to you guys. So those are my thoughts on makeup and my chatty part of my chatty get ready with me. Next, I'm using my Anastasia Peachy Love. I'm going to use the shade Miami. It's like this beautiful peachy color that I can't get over. Then I'm using my Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter in Botanic Dream. I don't know if this really goes with what I'm wearing, but I think if I had the Amrezy highlight, this would really, like, excuses. This is a beautiful highlight. I absolutely adore it. Going to use, this is a number 7 bottle, but I have Fix Plus in it. I just like the sprayer, so I'm going to spray my face with some Fix Plus. Close my palette so I don't get Fix Plus on my palette. I love the smell. This is the coconut one. Gonna do my lips. I'm gonna start with the Charlotte Tillbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk. This is the one that I bought in Berlin. I could probably use some sharpening, but oh well. Just do some blotting so I don't get all of the pigment in my lip gloss. I'm using the Anastasia lip gloss in Freya. This is absolutely beautiful, but it is so shiny. Like, it's almost metallic. It's so shiny. That's what it looks like. It smells like candy. See that? Like, look at how almost metallic that is. Gotta kind of use it sparingly. I like that together. I like that. That's pretty. I think that's pretty. So if you have any thoughts on low buys and no buys and, you know, shopping for recreation and whatever, you know, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I'm going to go try to fix my hair and then get out of here and go to brunch. And, you know, I wish you luck if you're doing a low buy or no buy. That's totally commendable. As always, just respect each other and respect your choices and try to make good choices. And just have fun with your makeup. Just have fun with your makeup. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my thoughts. And I hope you enjoyed this look. And I'm going to keep doing these Get Ready With Me's because I like having something fun to do on a Saturday or a Sunday and having some content to post on the weekend. So here we are. Leave me a comment down below if you would like. Please subscribe to my channel for more cool, awesome videos like this. Again, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.